Hey guys, welcome back to LJ Woodworks. Right here's a piece of 8/4 poplar. This came from Big Mex up there at Big Dog Woodworking. You should definitely check out his channel. Right now we're running it through the drum sander, just getting it smoothed out on both sides before we get it on the lathe. I should have said through the bandsaw because we're going to have to cut these round first, so that's what I'm doing here, getting my measurements to see how large a blank I can cut. I've had a few people in the comments actually ask for voiceover, so I kind of explain what I'm doing, so that's why I'm doing this time. You can see here I'm setting that up to 4 inches, which will give us a 8-inch diameter blank. Just drawing the circles right now. So here I put the camera directly on the poplar so you could kind of ride along as it's making its cut. I thought it was kind of neat. So now we're going to get this mounted up on the lathe using that mark I put on there earlier. I'm just using the jaws as a reference face and just pinching it between that and the tailstock. We're just getting it round right here. Now these pencil lines that I'm putting on here just help me line up the dividers, which is going to allow me to mark the recess for the chuck. Now this is the Easywood mid-size rougher, and probably the easiest way I've found to put a recess in. Now all my chucks have the dovetail jaws, so that's what I'm doing here, just putting the dovetail in. Skew for the inside, and then I've got this tool that I found at Woodcraft for doing the outer. Now we're just going to go ahead and pinch the 2 blanks together using the tailstock again and get them to an even diameter. And while they were pinched together, I did go ahead and put a spot on the other blank to be able to hold it with the chuck. I just didn't show it because it was the exact same as the previous one. So here we're just continuing to put a shape on the base. I always shape the outside and then match the inside to it. It's how I learned and how I've always done it. I know there's a few people out there who do it differently, but this works for me. Now here we're just continuing on getting the inside of the base taken care of. You can see I already put the lip on it. I didn't bother showing that because I had the camera set up at the wrong angle. And it's just going to continue on, and then we'll match the top to that base. So now we have the top mounted on the lathe, and you can see the base is sitting up top there. Just getting that edge set up so I can get the size right. There we go. Now you probably noticed that fit was slightly loose. I did do that on purpose. Wood does move with the seasons, and if you want this to be able to open year round, you better leave a little bit of space. Here I'm using the Easywood tool just to increase the depth of that lip so it fits on there good. Check to make sure.
All right,
It's looking good.
Good fit.
So here we started with the 80 grit paper, and we're going to go up to 240. I am going to use a Danish oil finish, so you don't want to go too high for the or the oil won't be able to penetrate very deep. Now here I'm just using the spindle gouge to put a couple decorative lines on the bottom of it. The wife likes this stuff. Now here I just thought the base, it was just a little too thick for my liking, so I'm taking a little bit of the meat out of it.
Needed a smaller bevel to make that turn.
So the bowl gouge you saw earlier was my 5/8, which is massive compared to this one. This one's just a little 3/8. I decided to switch up to the brush because of that knot. Allow the Danish oil to penetrate in there. And now we're going to start working on the finial. This is a piece of red oak. You notice I come up high and slowly raise the back of the tool until it starts to cut, and then you go back and forth and get it round.
Oh hell, did I not record any of that? Oh. There we go. As soon as the wrench fits, you're done.
And that was showing you the easiest and most accurate way I know of to make a tenon. And some of you may notice that I am a little out of practice with the skew, but we'll get it done.
close enough. Alright, so I've already got the epoxy mix, or 2 parts combined, using the Total Boat. Got this at Woodcraft. We got our Eye Candy Pigments, Pacific Blue, Amaterasu Silver. So I'm going to get this mixed up. It says I got to mix it here for about 3 minutes. Then I'll separate half to the other Dixie cup, add pigments, and get those mixed up. So I should probably start by saying Jake Thompson is the reason I'm going to give this a shot. Watching his videos and Saturday morning cartoons kind of gave me the confidence to give this a try. So we got our top to our candy dish. We got blue, we got silver, we got the pressure pot. So let's go ahead and give this a pour and see how it turns out. Now this is Total Boat epoxy. It's not the one that he recommends, but I've had it for a while, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Oh, dang. Get this wiped up here. Oh, is it going to make it? Looks like it's going to. Touch more blue. Oh, that's looking pretty slick. Let's move this around so you guys can see it better. I kind of like that. Alright, we're going to get that in the pressure pot and leave it alone for a couple hours.
Well, a couple hours turned out to be the next day, and I think it turned out pretty darn good. Of course, I've got nothing to compare that to, but I think it turned out pretty good for a first try. I'm going to have to do a bit of sanding to clean up those edges and then run it through the Beal buffing system, but
got a little more
I like it. Now, for any of you guys out there that are more familiar with doing the resin pours, let me know how I did. Anything that I did wrong, did right, or any advice for my next one? Love to hear from you. Well, since I sanded that area, I figure I might as well go ahead and hit it with some lacquer. And since I'm doing the top with a lacquer, I'm going to do the bottom as well. This is the Beal buffing system, so it has the 3 pads that you can see there, and there's 2 different polishes, and then the final pad, which I'm using now, is the carnauba wax. So it's a brown polish, a white polish, and then the wax. One of those polishes is the Triple E. I don't know which one, I just know it goes brown, white, wax. Now I know watching me use the buffer is probably about as exciting as sanding, so we're just going to go ahead and fast forward through this. Now even fast forwarded, you could probably tell it was just getting shinier and shinier as we went along. So here at the end, we're just going to do some glamour shots, and thanks for making it this far.